What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So one of the things I really enjoy about YouTube is the fact that I can post a video and I get you guys to respond. You comment and you let me know a lot of different things. Sometimes it's on topic, sometimes it's just about the background that I have or what have you. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy it. And this person, Calvin, posted a comment yesterday. And I want to go over this comment because I'm sure this is what a lot of people are thinking. But we're going to break this comment down and we're going to talk a little bit about why this matters when people think a certain way when it comes to anything, any type of legislation. We're going to be talking about the $200 raise for Social Security today. That's the focus. Now, we know that Senator Bernie Sanders, he's talked about this before. He's been talking about this for a while. And so why hasn't anything gotten done? And that's what the comment is referring to. And I hope to answer that question in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. Now, just a reminder, if you guys are watching my channel, if you're in the comments and you see someone that's impersonating me, you'll see a picture of me. You might even see my name, and they're going to tell you to go to WhatsApp or click on this link. Just understand that's a scammer. They're trying to take advantage of you, so make sure you do not click on any of those links. Do not go to their WhatsApp. If you see me in the comments, usually I'm going to be thanking you for your support or answering a question, but you'll see my picture, my name, and a check mark next to my name. That check mark is what signifies that it's me. If you don't see the check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to take advantage of you. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at Calvin's comment here. And Calvin, thank you very much for this comment. This really actually helps because we can talk about this and maybe have a better understanding of what's going on in Congress and how Congress works. And so Calvin says the Social Security Expansion Act was introduced on June 9th, 2022 by Bernie Sanders and others. Okay, so he did have some support. So it wasn't just Bernie Sanders. He had people like Elizabeth Warren that were supporting this expansion act. So the Democrats had about 8 months to do something with it, and they did nothing. They had the presidency, the House, and the Senate, so they could have passed it, but they never even brought it to a vote. That should tell you what the Democrats thought about the bill. To them, it was clearly not even worth their time to bring it to a vote. Now, this is a really good comment. This is a really good statement, but we're going to break it down because I want to talk about some of the things in this comment that we need to pay attention to, because you're going to have, obviously, you have Democrats, you have Republicans. Republicans are going to use this. They're going to use stuff like this because they know that they could take advantage of people who don't really know exactly what's going on. Okay. Now, I'm not telling you that you're wrong, Calvin. I'm just saying that there's certain things in here. There's certain reasons why things couldn't happen the way as easy as it sounds. So the first thing that I want to address, they had the House, they had the Senate, and they had the White House. So it's true. Senator Bernie Sanders, he introduced this bill last year. Now, he would have to reintroduce the bill this year because we have a new Congress in. So that's the main reason why he's talking about reintroducing it now. But let's go back to last year. So last year, Democrats had the House, they had the Senate, they had the White House. So why couldn't they get this bill done? So the first thing, and we saw some reconciliation bills go through. The first thing, when it comes to reconciliation, you can't use this for Social Security reform. So they wouldn't be able to do that. And so that's the first thing. So the 50 votes, the 50 plus the vice president. So if we're looking at the Senate, because the Senate is where we wouldn't see this pass. Now, we could see it pass in the House, or at least last year we could have seen it pass in the House, because Speaker Pelosi, she would know if she has the votes. She would be able to get the votes in order to pass this through the House. But the Senate, that's the important part that we need to focus on, because the Senate, they need 60 votes. And so what that means is they need more than just the Democrats. At the time, you had 50 Democrats, so they needed those 50 votes, plus they needed 10 Republicans to vote for this in order for it to move forward. So just because Democrats control the Senate and they control the House and they control the White House doesn't mean that they can just pass anything that they want. They still need support from Republicans. And like I said, when it comes to reconciliation, they can't use reconciliation for a Social Security reform bill. And so that wouldn't have happened. And so that's the main reason why they couldn't get this done. Now, I do agree with you when it comes to calling it to a vote. And I've been saying this all along. A lot of these bills, they should be calling to vote. So in the Senate, they could have called this to a vote to see where they were. but they didn't want to do that. And that was a problem there, because you could have some Republicans that could have come on board for this. Not likely, but you could have had some Republicans come on board, but at least you would know how they felt about this bill. But we don't have that information because they did not bring it to a vote. And so I will say, when it comes to this $200 raise, that's one thing that they should have done. Bring it to a vote, see who wants it and who doesn't. And maybe just by bringing it to a vote, you're going to have people from both sides come together and say, okay, this is about Social Security. We know there's 70 million people out there, 70 million voters, because that's the way that they're looking at it. So we at least need to address this. We can't just say no without coming up with a different plan. And so maybe that's what they should have done. And when it comes to a lot of these bills, I've been saying this for a very long time, a lot of these bills, they should just be bringing to the floor. They should not be holding off. And the reason why the Senate needs the 60 votes, and I didn't mention this, but the reason why they need the 60 votes is to avoid a filibuster. So another way around this is they could have made a carve out when it comes to the filibuster and not have the filibuster be in play when it comes to Social Security, but they would have to vote on that. And one thing I didn't mention when it comes to the 60 votes, why they need the 60 votes, that's to avoid a filibuster. Okay, so they would have to do a workaround in order to, when it comes to the filibuster, they have to do a workaround in order to be able to vote for this without the 60 votes. And so that's what we're looking at. And that's what we were looking at all last year. This year, it's even worse now because we do have split government. I won't say it's worse, but it's a different situation, a different dynamic, because we have the House being run by Republicans and then the Senate being run by Democrats. So that's what we have right now. Now, the White House doesn't even play a role in this until the very end. And so it doesn't even matter who's in the White House, because the Senate and the House, they have to come together and move forward with this bill. But yes, you're very correct, Calvin. They had an opportunity last year to at least move it to a vote. That's one thing that they could have done, and that's one thing that they should have done, but they chose not to do that. And so now we're looking at a situation where, I mean, it's almost like, I think both Democrats and Republicans, they have their ideas of how they want to move forward, but they're afraid to move forward because this is a big deal. This is a big deal. And just like I said, 70 million people are going to be affected by this. And so that would mean that they're going to need to make the right decision, because if they make a decision that is not so popular, it could mean that they get voted out of office. And so they're very apprehensive to move forward with legislation. But you do have politicians that will come out. Senator Bernie Sanders has come out. Look, this is what I want. This is what I think the American people need. I think it's good for the American people. I think it's good for people on Social Security to get a raise and then to actually address the solvency issue. But politicians, they're a little bit wary of this and they're a little afraid to move forward. So we're going to have to see what happens in the future. Okay, so tonight, the State of the Union address, hopefully you guys will be watching. I will definitely be watching. And I'm watching for what are they going to be talking about? People who are retired, people on a fixed income, Social Security, Medicare. So I'm going to be focused on that. And I'll do a follow-up video tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about what the president said and then the response. That'll be from Ms. Huckabee. And then I also like to see the reaction in the chamber when the president's talking about different things. So we're gonna watch all that. I'll put out a video tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more about this, and we'll just see where we are when it comes to different legislation. So if you guys have any other questions, further questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.